This episode brought to you by MeepleRealty.com, your source for high-quality custom board game inserts. Meeple Realty, think inside the box. Hey everybody, welcome to Board Online, Board Offline. Today we're bringing you the solo gameplay of Atlantis Rising. Now, I borrowed this game from One Stop Co-op Shop, which you can find a link to his YouTube channel in the description below. And basically what we're doing here is we're going to kind of swap games back and forth every couple of months or so. I'll be sending him Tavarua, and he's going to do a series on that when I send Atlantis Rising back to him. It's a pretty fun little thing that we're going to try out here. See how long we can keep that going. He has done a gameplay on this as well over on his channel. He used 4 counselors, which are the characters in the game, on his, so I'm going to use 2 here. And I'll discuss that a little bit more when we get down to the table. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to let you know about before we get... Oh, yeah. So as I've already filmed it, and when I've been going back through, I've noticed a few things here and there where maybe I made a bad choice, but also 1 or 2 things where I straight up just played something wrong. Completely played a rule wrong. I apologize. As is usual with my gameplays, I am not an expert. I definitely will play rules wrong, and sometimes I will just completely... it's blatant when it happens sometimes. So I apologize for that. If you see anything in there that I haven't notated already, please leave it in the comments below. And without anything else, let's get right into the gameplay of Atlantis Rising. All right, so here we go. We've got the island set up, and you can see I've got my extra workers over here for when I recruit them. We've got the ship set up on the right spot, except maybe is it backwards? We'll put it that way. Now in the video, I mentioned at the top of the video that One Stop Co-op Shop actually let me borrow this. One Stop Co-op Shop, if I can pronounce the name properly. And in his playthrough, he used these 4 counselors: the Explorer, the Scholar, the Priest, and the Artificer. So I decided that for this one, I'll use the other 2 that he did not use, the Champion and the Astrologer. So the Champion gains 1 courage token at the start of each turn, which is going to be very useful. But even more useful, I think, the Astrologer may choose to place the Atlanteans that belong to the Astrologer. I'll be able to place them at the end of the misfortune phase instead of before the misfortune phase. So that right there, I think, is going to be very helpful, because that way I'll know already what's going to be flooded and what won't be. Also, over here, what I've done, I've beaten the game on the regular difficulty. So instead, we've stepped it up a notch to what the game refers to as normal difficulty. So with the regular difficulty, or the game calls it easy difficulty, you have 3 from A, 3 from B, and 3 from deck C. However, with normal, you remove the deck C cards, and instead I've now got 3 cards from deck D, which are the 3 up here, these red ones. The green ones here are deck B, and the blue ones are deck A, and of course the white one is the power core that's always there. Okay, so I think that pretty much covers our setup here, and let's get into the game and get started. So the Champion is going to be the first player this round, and really the first player token isn't going to matter a whole lot since I'm playing both characters, but we're going to try to move this back and forth between the characters anyway. So he's going to gain a courage token at the start of his turn, just as his power says, and then we need to place these 3 workers. All right, so first we'll put 1 there, and you know what, actually we're going to use the courage token on this one to make sure that he's going to get to recruit that guy, and I'm going to go ahead and put these guys here, and I'm going to go heavy recruitment with the Champion to start off with. Then for the Astrologer, even though he can wait till the end of his fortune phase, it's not going to matter, because I'm going to put all of his guys over here in the Navy just to try to hold down the fort while the Champion is busy recruiting. My plan is for the Champion to be the primary guy over here, but I want to build up the Champion's forces first. So the Astrologer is going to go over here and man the Navy for the time being. So the champion will draw a misfortune card first, which is going to be Flood Cities. And I'll go ahead and do the astrologer as well, Flood Mountains. And right off the bat, I'm very happy that I used this courage token. So that courage token gets spent, and this guy does get to do his productive action since the courage token was there. So I now have that a new worker there for the champion. Flip that tile over, got flooded. And then, of course, the mountains were the other ones to get flooded. So that right there is flooded. Moving on to the productive action step, these two workers will recruit another for the champion. And you can see he's now at 5 workers. There's only 1 worker left for the champion to recruit, and he'll be at full strength. Now let's move on to the Athenians' attack. So now on this die, we've got a 2, a 3, 2 3s, so, and then the 2 4s and a 5. So basically I've got a 50-50 shot that I'm going to be fine over here. So let's see what happens. And we've got a 4. All right, so I obviously put 3 guys there. We have a 4, which means 1 tile is going to sink. And I think that I will sink this library tile right here, because I want the crystals. It gets really kind of difficult when the crystals start to sink the forest, because this is already at 4, and then from that point forward it's a 5 or more. I guess I could do the gold actually. That might not be a bad idea, because the thing is, these knowledge cards are very useful. You know what? I am actually, let's switch that. Let's do the gold. We're gonna have the hills sink. So now we move on to build components. However, I don't have any resources, so we will go in and move this over to the astrologer. And let's go ahead and give the champion a courage token so we don't forget. And oh, and I forgot, of course, these come off of the navy. So I do think I'm going to wait now for the astrologer to the end of the misfortune phase to place the astrologer's workers. So the champion is going to place 2 of his workers here, actually here, because it's the exact same ratio, and that way we've got a buffer between the ocean and his workers. And then these 3, oh, you know what we forgot to do? We forgot to move the galley. So the galley's up 1, still doesn't have any effect yet, but it will in the next turn. Also, I forgot that the astrologer was not only the only person to be in the Navy last time, but he also had at least 2 guys there, so he does have a courage token now as well. So going back to the Navy, the champion is going to put the rest of his workers here, and he's going to place a courage token under one of them. Moving on to the misfortune step, let's see what we've got here for the astrologer. Calm seas, fantastic. And for the champion, flood the forges. All right, well, I don't like when the forges start flooding. I'll show you why. The forges, of course, are where you gain Atlantium, and Atlantium is heavily used in the components that we're going to be building. So this tile, of course, is the best one for gaining Atlantium. It only takes 1 ore to get 3 Atlantium. And that's the other thing, is getting Atlantium is a 2-step process, because first you have to mine ore from the mountains, and then bring it to the forges and transmute it into Atlantium. But we still have some pretty good ratios there, the 1 to 2, so we'll be doing all right. And maybe we can end up unflipping that one, but we'll see. So the astrologer's first worker is going to go here in the libraries. Going to go ahead and gain a mystic energy at the, what's that place called? The mystic power source. That's right. And then finally, the last worker is going to go here in the forest, and I'll tell you why I'm going to put him there. We have this one component that has absolutely no benefit, but it only costs 1 crystal. So if we can get that right now, we can go ahead and get our first component built. So now we move into the productive actions. We're going to take this guy off of the power source and gain a mystic energy. Take this guy from the library, and we're going to get to draw and keep 2 knowledge cards. Let's see what we have. Raise the land. Flood 1 forest, hills, or mountain tile. Collect the following resources based on the type of tile you chose to flood. Forest, 1 crystal. Hills, 2 gold. Or mountains, 3 ore. And we've got flawless design. After building a component, receive the benefit for building that component one additional time. That one could be very good if we choose wisely on that one. So we'll keep those down here below the astrologer. Finally, we have to roll for this guy. And we got a 6. Fantastic. So he does gain the crystal for the astrologer. And of course, these two guys for the champion are going to recruit the champion's final worker. Now, moving on to the the Atlanteans attack phase, we can get anything other than a 5. A 5 will require us to sink something, anything else, and we'll be good to go. Oh, and that is definitely not going to work. Let's try that again. Okay, we have a 2 over there on the table. All right, so we're good to go. And these guys come back over here. And the champion gains a courage token for having the most in the Navy. And now we'll do the build components phase. We'll spend this crystal and build the self-healing material, which is entirely useless. But it does mean we have one component built. Moving on to the next round. The champion is our first player. He's going to gain a courage token, of course. And where are we going to place them? And of course, I did forget to move the galley. Let's do that. Now, it's on +1 now, which means that the minimum attack die roll is going to be a 3 now. So let's think what we're going to do. I think if I put 4 guys over here with 1 courage token, that's going to be 5. That will cover down on everything except for if I roll a 5. So basically 5 out of 6 times I'm good there. We're going to do that. Yeah, that's going to be good. We'll leave that over there. I'm comfortable with that. And I think we'll have the champion start mining ore with his other 2 workers. So the astrologer is going to wait again before he places his workers out. So let's get the 2 misfortune cards. We have a special misfortune card, hopelessness. All players lose all courage tokens immediately, even though it's already placed. That is not good. All right, so all players, the astrologer loses his, and then the champion not only loses the courage token that was on his character card, but this one over here as well from the Navy. So now we have 4 attack. We have 4 guys over in the Navy, basically. So we still have a 50-50 shot of being okay. And then let's see, for the astrologer, we have Flood Forges. I'm going to let that one go as well, because even though the forges are incredibly important, this one is a 1-for-2 ratio, and so is the next tile right there. So we should be good to go still. I think that if that one floods, I'll intervene and stop it from flooding, but for now, we're all right. So it's definitely time for the astrologer to start gaining some more workers. And he's going to go for some gold, because I think a good one for the astrologer would be the jump accelerator. Gain 1 additional gray Atlantean for use on your turn for the next turn only, because then that'll be another worker that can wait until after the misfortune cards. So moving on into the productive actions, let's see what the first champion worker is going to get here. A 1. There is nothing I can do about that, because the champion only has 1 mystic energy, so that one is wasted. Let's see about the other one. That one's a 2. I'm rolling terrible. Okay, the champion's going to use a mystic energy to roll that up to a 3. So he will gain 1 ore from there. And now the astrologer rolls a 5. Fantastic. So the astrologer gets the gold, no problem. And of course, these 2 workers bring in a new Atlantean to work for the astrologer. And moving into the attack phase, the Atlanteans attack. We're rolling, and we have a 4, so we are good. Yes, all right. So these guys go back to the champion. And let's not forget, move that galley up. So here we are, moving back over here. We get another courage token. Oh, and he got a courage token for having the most in the Navy. So he has 2 courage tokens. He's basically going to always have at least 2 courage tokens, since he's going to be my primary Navy operator here. Now, I think the astrologer, again, is not going to... Is he going to put anybody in the Navy? I don't think so. We're going to let the champion keep doing that for now. So the astrologer is going to save all those guys till the end of the misfortune phase. Let's put the champion's guys out. All right. We're going to put If we put 4 over with a courage token, so that's 5, that would mean that minimum roll of 4, and so we've got a 50-50 shot. I really want to try to, I don't have any way to stop, I can't stop those floods anyway. You know what? Champion's going to throw another guy over here. He's really going to go heavy in the Navy, so we're just going to keep doing that for now. And the champion's going to transmute with a courage token over here. So where are we now? We have the misfortune cards coming. Flood Hills. And controlled flood. Flood 2 tiles in any section. Brutal. So we know the hills have to get flooded because they were specifically named. And now for the controlled flood, I think we're going to flood the library and the mountains over here. All right, so we are going to gain that worker there. Now I could go ahead and get the astrologer up to full strength with his workers right now. I'm not going to, and here's why. I want to get another mystic energy, and I want to continue gaining this gold. So we're going to do that. All right, so now productive action phase. Let's go in and take this guy. Gain a crystal. That puts the astrologer at 3, and we'll roll for him. Got 4 on the dot, so the astrologer's doing really well gathering crystals in the forest so far. And over here, these 2 guys will recruit another worker. And this guy will take the champion's ore, turn it into 2 Atlantium, and come on back home. All right, so how bad is this attack going to be? A 3, not bad at all. So these guys come home having done a job well done. That courage token goes there. However, he had the most, so he gets another courage token for that. Nothing to build in the components phase, so we're going to start a new turn. Here we go. I did forget to move the galley last time, however, I moved it off camera, so it's now at 3. And how many do we want to throw over here? 4. So if it's at +3, that's going to be a minimum attack of 5. If I put 5 guys over there plus, that's my 50-50 shot right there. I think that's what we're going to do, because otherwise the champion currently has 2 Atlantium, and I need to get him to at least build 1 component in order to make those not be wasted, because I can't really trade them normally. So he's going to keep going out and collecting resources. All right, so we're going to place a courage token here with the champion's other worker. And the astrologer will wait again. Yes, he'll wait again. Okay, so here we go. Lack of support. Players may not use their special abilities next turn. All right, so the astrologer next turn won't be able to use that, and he will not get a courage token. And then we've got flood the libraries, and we'll go ahead and do that. Now the astrologer definitely wants his last worker, so we're going to go there. And he'll go ahead and gather another crystal, I think. Oh, you know what? No, he won't. No, he won't. This guy, actually, is going to take another knowledge card. He'll get to draw 2 and keep 1. And the other 2 are going to go over here and mine for ore. So let's see how this champion does. Or this champion's worker up. He got just enough, so the champion does get 1 gold. And gets to keep that courage token. Let's see what knowledge cards we'll get to choose from here. We have Ritual of Transference. Give or take 1 mystic energy, resource, courage token, or knowledge card to or from another player. Or Enigma of Alacrity. Select a tile in the mountains, hills, or forest. All Atlanteans on that tile roll twice when rolling for resources this turn. A single Atlantean can collect up to 2 resources. Oh yeah, we're definitely taking that one. These guys up here will recruit the final worker for the astrologer. All right, so here we go. Let's see if we can get some ore. 6, perfect. And 3, just what we need. All right, so we're at +3, and we have 6 Atlanteans. Whoa, oh no. 3 + 5 is 8. We're going to sink 2 tiles. This is actually not that difficult a choice because I have now recruited all possible workers. So unless something terrible happens to them, I don't need these tiles at all anymore. So we're going to go ahead and sink both of those city tiles. And we've got 3 more city tiles that can kind of act for controlled floods, and the Athenian attack phase can kind of act as a buffer for the rest of the island. So this will move up. It's now on 5, which is the highest it can go. That is because we're playing with 2 counselors, so it won't go any higher than that. That token is burned, of course, but then he gains another one, so really it's a wash. So here's what we're looking like right now. Let's go ahead. We're going to move this over here. We don't have any components that we're going to build right now, though he's close. If he can get 1 more gold, he can build the electrum plating. So beginning of the turn, he gets another courage token. He is just stock full of courage tokens right now. The astrologer is going to place one worker in the Navy to help out the champion. Yep, here we go. 1 worker in the Navy. And then the champion will put all of his workers except 1 over here. So that's 6 total. With a minimum roll of 7, though. Oh, wow. I forgot. That's how bad it gets. So a minimum roll of 7. You know what, though? We'll use 2 courage tokens. So now I have, what did I say? I have 6, plus, I have 8 over there. Minimum roll of 7. That's 50-50. The astrologer is going to go ahead and put 1 other guy over here. All right, so I feel better about that. The astrologer will, of course, wait until the end of the misfortune phase. So the champion is going to go here with a courage token. All right, misfortunes. We have flood the hills. I may want, well, he's got a courage token, though, so I probably can just let that happen. Flood the mountains. That one I may stop because the ore. So this one I'm going to go ahead and let happen. I'm going to let that happen. Let's roll this. Oh, and he misses it by 1. There's nothing he can do because the champion doesn't have any crystals. I'm guessing, yeah, this would have had to, I would have had to use this prior to, so not right now. Plus, this would be good if I just stuck a whole bunch of people in one, if I had a couple of guys on 1 tile. Okay, all right, so that kind of sucks, but he burned that courage token, and this is flipped over. And now, do I want to save this tile? Because if I don't save it, then we're going up to having to roll 4s for ore. So I think I am going to save it. I'm going to spend the 3 mystic energy to prevent that tile from flooding. What does he need? The astrologer really needs, because I'm trying to get the power core with him. Okay, you know what? Here we go. The astrologer is going to come down here to that one and place a guy here because we need 2 crystals. We're going to put 1 guy on the mystic energy source and then a guy down here. So, first things first, let's remove this guy and get 1 mystic energy. Then this guy will transmute 1 ore into 2 Atlantium. And now let's roll for this one first. Got a 5, so we're good to go there. And now if we can get this guy, we'll be able to build that power core right now. It is a 5. All right, here we go. Perfect. Okay, so now this could be bad, but not so bad. We do have those cities that we can flood. Whoa, keep knocking this guy over. And this keeps happening. All right, roll it. What do we got? a 3. Something I just realized I forgot about is this lack of support card. Players may not use their special abilities. I'm going to put this right out here in the middle of the board so we don't forget. I obviously should have done that this last time. We'll do it this time. Meanwhile, in the build components phase, this guy is still just short, but over here we have 2 crystal, 2 gold, 2 Atlantium, which will let us build the power core. Gain 3 mystic energy. Well, you know what else I can do? Let's go here with the flawless design. After building a component, receive the benefit for building a component 1 additional time. So the astrologer is going to gain 6 mystic energy. There we go. And of course we got to make the payment. Let's don't forget that. All right, so he is just flush with mystic energy. The champion has none. I probably should get the champion some mystic energy, but we'll see about that this turn. In fact, we are now at the beginning of the next turn. And y'all, you know what? I just talked about how lack of support is going to be enacted this time. And I still gave the champion a courage token at the beginning of his turn, but I took it away. So there we go. Now, the champion is going to get a guy here. Actually, you know, he'll put a guy here, so we're not going to use a courage token on him. Or, yeah, not going to use a courage token on him. And actually, might as well put a guy here just to really be safe, because it's all the same. And he's going to put, you know what? He's going to put 2 guys on the gold, 1 guy in the mystic energy. Let's see if the champion can get something done here so we can use the resources that he's collected. Meanwhile, the other 3 champion workers will go in there with 1 with a courage token. That's at 4. Now, again, the minimum roll is a 7, so we need to get at least 3 more guys in here from the astrologer. Astrologer's gonna, you know what? The astrologer might go up, might as well go ahead and take the opportunity to gain a courage token. So he'll put that in there. We'll go with that, see how that works for us. But that leaves the astrologer with 2 more workers. He does have an ore, so we might as well go ahead and transmute that while he's got the chance. And I think that this will be an excellent time to use Enigma of Alacrity. Select a tile in the, we're going to do in the hills, that tile right there. Each of those workers will get to roll twice. So let's put this here to help us remember that and move on to the misfortune phase. The champion draws Flood Forges. Not good. I've got a guy over there. So let's resolve that real quick. Do I want to prevent that from flooding? I'm going to prevent it from flooding. Let's do it. Let's spend. Let's spend. We've got it. So there we go. There's the 3. That will not flood. And the astrologer draws Flood Hills. All right, well, we will go ahead and let that happen. Whoa, I'm busting the board up here. Moving on to productive actions phase. Let's do the champion first. All right, so he's going to roll twice for this. You know what? First, we're going to take this guy and gain that mystic energy. All right, now roll twice. You know what? He's going to use that mystic energy. No, he's not. He's got 3 more rolls between those 2 guys, and really the champion doesn't need to be collecting a whole lot of resources after this. So let's roll again. A 1. You know what? Okay, so that guy's done. I'm going to regret not using that mystic energy. Watch this. So here's for the other one. A 2. Oh my gosh. Oh. Sometimes I just am my own worst enemy. So, he got nothing out of all that. Let's see how the astrologer does. Not going to make the same mistake twice. Mystic energy. Change that to a 5. The astrologer gets a gold. And there's the 5. So 2 gold for the astrologer. None for the champion, who's really the one that needs it. That's fine. Let's go ahead and discard this so we don't accidentally use that again. And this guy, very simply, takes that ore, gets that in return. Then over here, we've got a 3. Okay, so we are good to go. Now the astrologer actually will gain a courage token. All right, so the astrologer does have enough, we're going to build the matter converter. And that's going to take 1 Atlantium and 2 gold. And what that does is transmute 1 resource you possess into any other resource. I'm actually going to transmute this Atlantium into crystal, and I'll show you why. I am going to attempt in this next turn with 1 turn to collect the rest of this crystal to build the actuality shield, which will allow us to move the Athenian galley back 1 step. And that'll be pretty cool if I can get that in 1 shot. And I think I can if I really send a lot of the astrologers into the forest. All right, so here we go. Brand new turn. Oh, plus that means we're now at 3 built components. We are 30% towards a win. Let's see, we're going to get a courage token for the champion. And let's start placing our guys. So I went ahead, I was doing some math in my head. I'm going to put those guys there with 1 courage token, so that's 6. And then the astrologer is also going to assign 1 guy with his courage token. So that's 8 that I've got over there now. Meanwhile, the champion is going to put a worker here again. He's going to keep trying to get that gold. And the rest of the astrologers guys are, of course, going to wait for the misfortune card. So let's see what we've got. Flood Hills and Calm Seas. The hills can take 1 more flooding, so we're going to let that one happen, even though it's getting very precarious over here. Meanwhile, I really can't believe the forests have been completely untouched. Did I save? I don't know. Did I save the forest one time? Or have they just have been untouched, which really makes me worry that I'm going to start drawing a whole bunch of these. So with that in mind, the astrologer is going to load up the forest, and we're going to see how many crystals we can get this turn. All right, so let's go ahead and start. Let's get these misfortune cards out of the way. Let's start rolling for the astrologer. Here we go. So rolling for this guy first. Okay. Nothing for him. And the rest of these are all 5s. Oh, wow. Here we go. You know what? I'm switching the die. All right. 6. Look at that. All right. So to be able to build the actuality shield, I need both of these guys. All right. I need both of them. 2. I'm not going to burn. I am not going to burn. I could get up to a 5. I'm not going to burn all 3 on that. There we go. 6. All right. Okay. So we're short 1, but that is not a huge issue. We're almost there. So that's fine. Now let's go up to the champion. And this guy, yes, finally, the champion. Okay. So the astrologer's not going to build anything, but the champion finally is. But before that, we need to go to the attack phase. All right, here we go. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 2 courage tokens. We got 8. It is a 4 plus 5 is 9, which means we have to sink 1 tile. And of course, we're going to do a city tile. Everyone left in the cities doesn't want to help us anyway, so they're useless to us. So that's fine. And of course, these guys come home from the Navy, and champion has earned a courage token from that. All right, so now we need to build a component. The champion has 2 gold, 2 Atlantium, which is what he needs for the Electrum plating. Gain 1 courage token. Okay, so there we go. And he's getting close. Plus, that crystal is going to be fantastic anyway, no matter what we use it on. We need crystal. Crystal and Atlantium really are where we're at right now. I mean, if you look over here and see what's left, we have, well, let's see. There's 7 gold total that we need. For Atlantium, we need 4, 5, 8 Atlantium. And then for crystal, 4, 6, 8, 9. So yeah, so I mean, it is actually pretty well distributed. It's pretty even, but technically I guess Atlantium and crystal are the most, and crystal being the most for sure. All right, so let's place these guys out. The champion at this point really doesn't need to do anything except defend. So he's got his 6 guys, and we're going to go ahead and put both courage tokens over here. So that's 8, and we're going to just leave that, and now the astrologer is going to have a field day on the island after the misfortune phase. So in the, oh, you know what? I believe, I don't think it really, like I said, I don't think it matters much, but flood forest, we knew that was going to happen eventually, and I'm going to let it happen because it is the first forest to flood. How about that for alliteration? And we've got earthquake. All target numbers in the mountains, hills, and forest are increased by 1. Might be a good turn to go to the, man, that's going to make these 6. Everything's 6 in the forest now. That's rough. Okay, here's one thing we're going to do here. Let's leave this earthquake out just so we remember. I'll put that up in the middle of the island. I'm going to go ahead and raise a forest, okay? I'm going to do that because I don't want to deal with this being a 6 this turn, and I've got another 5 right here once the earthquake has ended, but that's going to gain me 1 crystal. So for sure we'll be able to build something this turn. However, I'm also out of, let's go and discard this. Oh wait, did I? Yeah, I did flood that. Okay, we're going to discard that. I am out of knowledge cards, so let's put 2 astrologers on the knowledge card. Up here, we'll also put 1 up here to gain another crystal, or I'm sorry, not crystal, 1 mystic energy. And now this tile right here is a 4 now instead of a 3 because of the earthquake. I'm going to put 2 guys here. I'm going to bet that I will succeed at one of those. And so I'll put my last guy over here in anticipation of gaining at least 1 ore from the mountains. So let's go ahead and do the productive actions. You know what? Let's go to libraries first. So for this guy, draw 2, keep 1. We've got the ritual transference, give or take 1 mystic energy, resource, courage token, or knowledge card to or from any player. Don't need to do that. So science of shielding, place a mystic barrier token on any tile. Definitely keeping that. In fact, we may use it right now in just a moment. All right, and the other one of these guys is, again, draw 2. Riddle of Steel. Place any number of ore and or Atlantium into the Atlantean Navy up to the number of Atlanteans you have in the Atlantean Navy. These count as your Atlanteans and are discarded after the Athenians' attack phase. Huh. Well, then we've got Ancestor's Gambit. Reroll the attack die. You must use the new result even if it is higher. We'll keep Ancestor's Gambit because the astrologer really isn't putting guys into the Navy, and you would need him to do so to use Riddle of Steel. And let's take this guy to gain the Mystic Energy. All right, so now let's see if this gamble paid off. I need a 4. Whoa, take that guy out. But guess what? It's a 5. Fantastic. All right, so I did get that ore. And roll one more time. A 1. All right, so I'm not going to worry about that one. Pull this guy off. And then this guy does, of course, take the ore that I just got and transmute it into Atlantium. Okay, so here we are with the attack phase. What have we got? A 4 plus a 5 is 9, and I have 8, so we have to sink 1 tile. And we're, of course, sinking another city tile. All right, so I think that I will go ahead and use Science of Shielding. And we're going to put this Mystic Barrier right here to protect our final hills. Just because that, you know, we only have that one left, and it's definitely the most vulnerable right now. By the way, y'all may have noticed I don't really have a discard pile for the knowledge cards. There's no way I'm working my way all the way through that deck knowing how I use knowledge cards. And since there's only 2 people, you should have a discard pile for it. But I've just been putting my discards at the bottom of the stack. So not really the correct way to play, but I will never make my way through that stack. So moving on back to the beginning of, oh, no. Build components. Let's see what we're going to build. Now, this is okay. I do actually have enough to build the light drive, unflip a flooded tile. That could be useful. But if I do this, I mean, that's 2 turns in a row that the Atlanteans have managed to, or the Athenians have managed to hurt me. Let's hold off on the light drive. I am going to go ahead and build the actuality shield. So that'll take these 4 crystals, and that will scoot this back 1 step. So a brief reprieve. And we are now officially 50% of the way done. So there you go. We have 50% of the Cosmic Gate completed. And the island's in decent shape right now. One thing that is kind of cool with this game, though, that I like is that even though the island's in decent shape, every time you lose a piece of the island, that particular productivity, that particular productive action becomes much more difficult, or not much more, but gradually more difficult. But that gradual increase in difficulty really starts to bite you as the game goes along, which then just causes the island to sink faster without you getting anything done. So don't take for granted what it means when one of those tiles flips. It really can start to ramp up the difficulty quickly. So let's leave it at that, and when we come back, we will see. I think the next episode of this will be the finale for this game. Since we got 50% done here, I think we get to 50% done or lose in the next video. We'll see which way it goes. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like my channel, consider subscribing. And until next time, if you're bored online, board offline.